back here, we've got the ice racers. So, as far as this one goes, this is the John Deere that you guys saw last year running around in the ice races. It did pretty decent. I do want to talk about the idea of tires and swapping things around. We have the pond all cleaned off and ready to go. As you can see, the dock has been totally removed so that we can be able to come down here and test and tune with the ice racers and everything. As it is right now, we've still got plenty of open water out on the pond. We've probably got, my bet would be at least 2, maybe the end of 3 more weeks before we can go out on the pond. But the dock is out of the way, which gives us an area on the outside of the pond that is roughly about the size of what we were racing last year. In order to be able to do a bunch of testing and things like that. 5 seconds before we end up moving on with the rest of the talk about the tractors. There is a potential that ice racing may or may not happen this year, depending on how things get sorted out in the near future over the course of the next month. Now, that being said, why would I continue to go and build ice racers if there's a chance that we might not be able to go ice racing? And the answer is because I have friends that were in the ice racers last year. We have a 1/3 of an acre pond, and the boys have asked that if we don't ice race, if we could do some friend ice racing over here and stuff like that. And I said yes. I've had several people get a hold of me from out of state to potentially come up and just horse around on the ice or whatever. And I don't see any reason why we can't at least have some fun on the ice. At the very least, monkey around with it, take John's gas-powered Power Wheel, put some ice racing screws on it, take that out and play with that. All kinds of stuff. The other thing is the third one in this group, I intend to also potentially run as a dragster. I'm building it kind of as a multi-purpose machine, a little bit of potential being able to either off-road it, drag race it, or take it ice racing, depending on what front end you put on it. And what tires you decide to swap on. So, let's get back to the rest of the video. So we need to take this and we need to pull this open. And like I showed you guys earlier, blatantly there was a mouse nest in underneath. The mice really love to get up into this section underneath these covers on these Kohlers. And the other thing about this Kohler is a lot of people have asked me whether you can do a governor delete on this. And where we've got the overriding choke and we've got the gas pedal, I don't see any reason we shouldn't delve into the idea of whether we can do a governor delete on one of these single-cylinder Kohlers. So that potentially is another thing we'll get into. Right now, we have this space frame Toro with no rear end. And currently, no engine. But we have a transmission shed filled with 5 or 6 different options for geared transmissions. We have at least 2 or 3 different options for engines. And I'll post up a quick snippet as far as the engine choices are concerned. Well, let's see here. Our engine choices are a 17 horsepower Opie. We've got a 14.5 single chilling back there. And we've got an 18 here for parts, probably for the John Deere. But we do know that that motor ended up working really well last year. So what do you guys think? Opie, 14.5 single, Kohler 18 because it worked last year. I'm thinking Opie. And I know what I'd like to throw into it, but you guys let me know. And back here, we've got the Sears Custom. Now, as you can see, it's a little on the decrepit side. It's got a little bit of what a lot of you call patina. I call it bloody rusted. This thing here is a whole bunch of basket case, with one of the big things being I don't even know if the transmission is actually good. One thing I can tell you is that when I went to move it in here, the reason why we had so much difficulty is the transmission was locked up entirely solid. And I'm going to bet that that means that there is ice in the rear and that we need to drain it and go through it and do that. If you're looking to go and fill one of these get filled with 30 weight oil. There's all kinds of runaround as to what they get filled with. The answer is 30 weight oil. This motor needs to come out of here. This motor is utterly just a lost cause. This thing is frozen, utterly, totally solid, and a waste of time. Hey, I didn't know there were extra parts here. What is this? So we've got some sort of tie rod-y linkage that's broken. And that must be the steering gear from the bottom of the shaft right there. Yeah, you can see it sheared off there. So that would be the reason why this can do this. Very helpful. This doesn't really matter to me. I'm actually debating converting this over to being a straight steering system. I can't think of what the term is right now, but all of you are going to comment down below and tell me how dumb I am. I can't think of it. Direct steer. Ha! I got you, all you mean commenters. I'm debating converting this over to a direct steer system anyway, which shouldn't be too hard on this because there's nothing in the way underneath. All of the belt stuff and everything all goes back this way, and all of your pedal stuff is all from here back. So there really shouldn't be anything to get in the way from here to here on doing a direct steer. The other thing that I'm debating on this is I'm debating drilling and pinning the tops of these and doing a flipped axle front end. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you flip the axle on this? Or would you leave it the way it is so that it looks gargantuan out on the ice? What would you do? The one thing I have decided right off the bat is I'm definitely going to do a widening on this. I've got spacers for the rear. So we've got spacers there. So we're going to take these. We're going to space them out 2 inches to each side. That way we can take the pan and everything that we sit on and we can dump it all the way to the frame so that you'll be sitting all the way down in. And at my height, that's part of the problem with this machine. In test fitting, I need to get that seat back at least a good solid 6 inches to fit me at 6'1". So there's that as far as that goes. This is the engine that's going to be going in it. And we'll be doing a series of videos over on Redneck Computer Geek and how-tos and stuff on this engine. One of the interesting things I noticed about this is it can actually be threaded to go this direction. See that? That can actually go the other direction. That's interesting. And also, that gas tank, we're definitely going to end up needing to repurpose into this, because these are always rust-filled. Yeah, that one's rusted to the point I can't even get the top to pop, because these all rust up internally and go solid. So there we go. That's where we're at as far as the ice racing builds are concerned. You know, a lot of people go under the premise of if you build it, they will come. I'm just going to go have fun. We're going to hop them up. We're going to do whatever it is we can do for, you know, myth busting in the lawn tractor world. We're going to do how-to videos. We're going to make something out of this. Whether we race or whether we don't, we'll still end up with some people coming over to play on the pond, I bet. And if all else fails, at least we built something and we were busy this winter. So, thank you, everybody. We'll get to it.